afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Once again on the sofa with Esther, and the event hosted by Brenda Wilson from the Jackie Wilson Foundation Next Level Showcase, celebrating the Offsprings of Legends, was absolutely amazing. I danced, I screamed, I shouted. It was amazing. And this lovely lady here is the Reverend Rose Reed, and she is the daughter of
Jimmy Reed.
Jimmy Reed, and she, her performance was absolutely stunning. So, Rose, I always ask my guests, in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, you look like a yummy coconut shell. Who is Reverend Rose Reed?
Well, I'm the baby girl of Jimmy and Mary Reed. Now, my twin was the baby girl, but I lost my twin, so we won't go there. But she was beautiful. I'm just the girl in the family that was a little bit different, quiet, very attentive to my mom and helping with the chores and things like that, just really simple. But coming up, I found that I had a calling from God, which was to be a caregiver. And so I ended up doing that, and started, I guess, at about age 12. And I took care of my mother's oldest sister, Auntie Jenny, God bless her soul and rest her soul, until she passed. I took care of my mother until she passed. I started taking care of my oldest sister, Loretta, who just passed in 2018. And I started dealing with her. Oh my God, I can't even remember how many years I took care of Loretta. And she, as I say, she just passed in 18. Also my twin. I lost my twin in 06.
Wow.
And, but I'm a caregiver. I'm a caregiver, and I just love helping people, And I would say to anybody, if you can find what it is that God has made you to do it. And that's what I do. I'm still caring for anyone that I can, anybody that needs help, I'm there, and I love it.
Fantastic.
And also, I just, my relationship with God is the most important thing in the world. So at age 21, hallelujah, God saved me. And I've been walking with God since 1977.
Fantastic.
And I'm 64 now, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And you look stunning as well. There's a peace around you. There's a serenity that exudes through you. And Reverend Rose, your father is obviously a legend. How did you get into music, into singing, or what made you decide, or how did you discover, I should say, that you had a gift for singing?
Well, I have to say that would have started when we were all young together, living in the house with Mom and Dad. We used to always have talent shows, lots of talent. With 8 children, you got a lot of talent. So that was when the seeds were planted in all of us to do music, And so it wasn't just me, it was everybody, all of the siblings. We all had our share in singing, writing songs. We would do the talent shows. I love to do expressive dance and just a lot of music and a lot of talent and gifts among the children in the family. And that just comes from Mom and Dad. I mean, my mother, she sung with my dad as well, Mary Lee Reed, and wrote a few songs for him as well. And my brother Jimmy, he played guitar with my dad on stage, so that's Jimmy Reed Jr. And it just kind of runs through the family. We all love music and do different things, but my singing and my writing just comes from within. I also write poetry, which I've had some of it set to music, and it's jazz, because I'm a jazz lover.
Excellent, excellent.
So that's music just a music world.
And What was it growing up? What was it like growing up with a famous father and mother as well? You know, how were you influenced or impacted by having a famous father or famous parents?
Hmm. Well, I'll tell you, it was not your usual family experience at home because it was a lot of music, of course. Daddy and Mama, they both wrote together. They wrote his songs together. If they were writing, then they were rehearsing the music, always singing, always him playing the guitar, and then she would actually sing with him. It started in the studio where Daddy would sometimes forget the words. And it started happening a lot. And you know, studio time costs a lot of money. So Mama went along and started whispering the words in his ear, sit right there with him and remind him of the words. But then instead of whispering the words, she started singing the words.
Oh.
And they caught it. The microphones caught her singing. And then when the producers listened to it, they could hear her. And they was like, oh my goodness, this sounds really great. We're gonna leave this in. So then Mama began to be heard on Daddy's recordings. And like I said, it's just been a musical life.
And in winding down, Reverend Rose, where to now for you? Are you gonna be performing at any more events?
Well, I believe that God has made a move in my life and in my sister's life. I call her my sister, Brenda Taylor, Eddie Taylor's daughter. And back in the day, it was Jimmy Reed and Eddie Taylor, you know, and that sound, when people are bumping and jumping and singing Bright Lights, Big City, Big Boss Man, Take Out Some Insurance, all those great songs, they're hearing Jimmy Reed and Eddie Taylor right there with him. And so now that we're together, it's Reed and Taylor all over again.
Fantastic.
And I think we're getting ready to do something. We have done a single that we're hoping to get out real soon. It's called Straight Out the Fields.
Oh, and
Straight Out the Fields.
And what's that about?
It tells the story of our dads.
Excellent.
It tells the story of our dads. And I do a verse and I talk about my dad, you know, chopping cotton and slaughtering hogs and all of that. And then Brenda come back and say, Eddie Taylor, you know, he didn't go to school. People tried to play him for a fool, but he was a smart guy, straight out the fields, you know. And it's a nice beat. And everybody we've let hear our sample, they're saying, whoa, it's going places. So I hope so. Thumbs. I hope.
Fantastic. And if anybody wants to find out more about you, are you on the usual social media suspects like Facebook and Instagram, or?
Actually, I'm going to tell you what, I am not a big fan of all of that.
I thought so.
However, Brenda Taylor, she is on Facebook, she's on Instagram, and probably a whole lot of stuff I can't name. See, she's the young chick, I'm the old chick, okay? And
Thank you.
I was forced to get my iPhone by my grown children, but I loved my little, you know, whatever that was.
Okay, well, we'll find you anyway, Reverend Rose, and thank you so much. It's been a real treat speaking to you, and you performed wonderfully tonight, so thank you.
Please look on the internet. I'm not the internet, whatever that thing is on the computer. I'm there. Rose Reed, let me see, what is it? Rose Reed 1455 at yahoo.com.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you.